Spider-Man Brand New Day has started filming, and a lot of inside information and leaks are now coming out about the movie. And fans have big time questions about this film, like how does the Hulk turn savage again? Why does Frank Castle have a tank with this symbol? And who is this secret villain that all of the insiders keep talking about? Well, in this video, I want to dive deep and get nerdy as fuck as we try to answer your most pressing questions about this movie using all the information, leaks, and rumors that we currently have. Of course, take this all with a giant grain of salt, as all of these leaks are just rumors until they officially get confirmed by Marvel Studios. But having said that, I think a lot of the info in here is real. Let's do this. Let's go! For this video, I want to start with the basic information, like some of the most simple things that are being said out there by the different insiders. Then we'll talk about a little bit more serious stuff with regards to the Punisher and the Hulk. And then finally, I want to get into a few mind-blowing possibilities that are being teased by insiders. That'll be the last thing we do in this video. Okay, so let's start with the basic. First of all, it does appear that Tom Holland will have multiple suits in this movie. There was some debate about this after the suit reveals from Sony and then Tom Holland, as it did appear that they were slightly different in design, especially around this section with the logo and the raised webbing here. And insider Alex Perez has chimed in to explain that Tom Holland Spider-Man will be fixing his suit as it takes battle damage throughout the movie. And so it is very likely the case that these are actually two different versions of the suit. Perhaps at some point the suit's gonna basically get completely destroyed, and at that point Spider-Man will make it again with some slight adjustments. Overall, I do expect the suit to mostly look the same though. Like, I don't think we're gonna get drastic versions of the suit that are different. Probably mostly gonna be this very basic blue and red, which is essentially a version of the suit we saw at the end of No Way Home. It's just very obvious that Peter's tweaking the suit, right? Like, we see in that end cap scene for that film that Peter has begun making it. Like, literally there's a sewing machine right there, so he's making it himself. And so that probably explains what's going on with the suit and Spider-Man. Now, this also perfectly takes us into a bunch of rumors about different villains in the movie, which is gonna explain how Spider-Man takes all of this battle damage. Scorpion, Tombstone, Boomerang, and Ramrod are all rumored to be in the film, as well as the villain Tarantula, and insiders are teasing even more villains. And there's some speculation and rumors out there that a bar from comics called the Bar with No Name, which is a famous bar in New York City where all the villains hang out, there are rumors that that is going to be in this movie as well. So Spider-Man is going to have his hands full of fights in this film, and he'll likely be taking a ton of battle damage in these different conflicts, and he'll be fixing and changing the suit as he goes along. A lot of folks are saying this is going to feel like an episode of The Amazing Spider-Man, the old show from the 90s. Seems like they're really just going for it with a lived-in, breathing rogues gallery for Peter Parker. He's being traditional Spider-Man and fighting against traditional Spider-Man villains. Now, next up in the basic takeaways for the movie, it all has to do with this massive action scene that they're filming right now. We're seeing a ton of set photos from this sequence, and it looks absolutely incredible. We've got practical effects being used for web swinging and explosions. The suit looks absolutely incredible in action, and the tank that the Punisher is apparently driving seems really cool. We've seen shots of extras fighting on the streets. We just saw a shot of Spider-Man actually saving a civilian, and we've seen New York City cop cars chasing after that tank. We've also seen some shots of Spider-Man on top of the tank trying to pry open its armored roof, and we've also seen shots of Spider-Man just chilling on top of cars, likely in between moments during the action sequence. Now, from what the scoopers and insiders have been saying, this is going to be one of the most ambitious action sequences ever attempted by Marvel. They have shut down over 50 different streets in Glasgow, and apparently the filming for this thing is going to take over a month. And in fact, they just extended the filming in Glasgow for an additional 11 days. Here's a couple of things that Alex Perez said about this action sequence, and this was before we even saw it being filmed. This was like a couple of weeks ago. Alex reported it is one of the MCU's biggest, if not the biggest, MCU stunt sequence ever. It will require a large amount of safety coordination. It will take over a month to shoot. It will be mostly practical, if not completely practical. It is filmed outside, and it will be filmed in a very heavily populated place. So I just think that's cool, because this was stuff we found out about this action sequence before they even rolled cameras. Now we're seeing that they're rolling the cameras. They're going to be doing this for a while, guys. It really seems like they're going to shoot this thing for about a month more, and we're probably going to get a whole bunch more reveals. Like, John Bernthal literally just wrapped the Punisher special, which was filming in New York City. It appears he's going to fly over to London and begin filming for Spider-Man Brand New Day. So technically speaking, Punisher might be seen in this action sequence as well. We might even see some stuff with Hulk and maybe some practical effects for the Hulk as well. Not really sure, but we're going to find out more in the next couple of weeks. Okay, so now let's get into the more advanced pieces of news here. This stuff's really cool. First up, Mr. Negative and the Inner Demons will not be in this movie. This was spoiled by Alex Perez. Now, this is crazy for a number of different reasons. First of all, a lot of people believed that that red demon face on the tank that apparently the Punisher is going to be driving was the Inner Demon's insignia. There were a lot of rumors that Mr. Negative was going to be in this film before we saw that insignia, but when we saw it, a lot of folks mentioned, oh my God, this looks like the insignia for the Inner Demon. On top of that, the idea of Mr. Negative was connected to some previous leaks from the Cosmic Circus and Alex Perez, which suggested that the costume department was looking at samurai and Edo period Japanese type of costume. So folks just thought, okay, well, maybe this will be the Inner Demons. Maybe Mr. Negative is going to have more traditional Japanese attire in this version. And another reason people believed Mr. Negative would be in this thing is because folks thought he would be the perfect way to turn Hulk savage again. He has the ability to literally pull out sort of like the negative or shadow self version of a person. So that would perfectly line up with making Hulk savage again. So Alex Perez says not in the film. And there were other people sort of hinting at this before Alex officially confirmed it, but that is freaking wild. Next up, let's talk about the costume leaks because Alex Perez's scoops about this appear to have been proven correct because the official Pinterest boards for the prop designer and costume artist for Brand New Day have leaked out online. I'm throwing up images of this right now, but it's all that same samurai Edo period Japanese aesthetic. Now, a lot of folks are bringing up a report from back in June from the Cosmic Circus where they suggested that Silver Samurai and Viper may well be the villains of this movie. But I also want to tell you that some other scoopers and websites are actually parroting that old scoop from the Cosmic Circus, and I'm pretty sure they're just pretending to hear it from new scoop sources. So I don't know that there's any new evidence that it actually will be Silver Samurai and Viper. And I do think there's a lot of like bad fake leakers out there like that James Mackwell guy. A lot of the stuff that gets posted to that Max Blitz website all appears to be bullshit, but at the same time there is actual good sourcing here. It all goes back to the Cosmic Circus and Alex Perez. So although we don't know, the best guesses for the film are that Viper, Silver Samurai, or potentially the Spider Queen are going to be involved in Spider-Man Brand New Day as this big secret villain. Which, by the way, let's talk about the secret villain. Almost everybody is saying there's a big secret villain for this film. The Hollywood Reporter dropped late last week that the plot of the film would revolve Hulk, Punisher, and Spider-Man fighting against each other before eventually figuring out who the real villain is. Now, some insiders and scoopers are saying it's a little bit different than that. They're suggesting that Punisher's going to want to shut Hulk down permanently, and Peter Parker is going to want to stop the Punisher from killing the Hulk. But even the scoopers and insiders are suggesting that there is a big secret villain behind this whole thing. Now, let's talk about the Punisher, right? Because it's kind of crazy that Punisher's going to be in this movie, but there were reports all the way back from 2022 that came from really good sources that were saying that Marvel Studios wanted Punisher and Spider-Man together. I would imagine this probably came from the actors themselves. Punisher actor John Bernthal and Tom Holland are actually friends. They helped each other read lines as they were both going in for their individual Marvel roles. So maybe it has something to do with that, or maybe somebody just had a pitch and thought it would be great to have Punisher and Spider-Man together. We've heard a lot of stuff about how this film's going to be a lot darker than a lot of other Spider-Man movies, so bringing Punisher into a darker Spider-Man film actually makes complete and total sense. As for the character himself, he just wrapped filming for the Punisher special, which is apparently going to follow this Ma Nucci character in this old Garth Ennis story. It's going to be crazy, violent, very, very dark. But Punisher is also said to be in Daredevil Born Again Season 2. And I have to say, I think something's going to happen in Daredevil Born Again Season 2, which will take Fisk off the table and might remove Daredevil from the whole picture in New York City as well. I'm not sure what this is. It could be connected to the Hand. It could be connected to maybe potentially Punisher working with the Hand, which is maybe what some people think is going on with that symbol. I really have no idea, but all of that is to say that there's going to be plenty of story opportunity for Marvel Studios to tell us, the audience, what is going on with Frank Castle and what brings him to the Spider-Man film. Also, a lot of insiders are saying that Punisher is getting upgrades, that he is going going to have crazy new technology and weapons that are going to make him capable of fighting against the Hulk. And number one, that's just like so damn cool. Like, that is so fucking cool for sure. But the next immediate question is like, are they going to give him the War Machine armor? Because this is a thing in the comics, man. Frank Castle, as the Punisher, gets his hands on War Machine armor, and it is absolutely fucking epic, dude. And I would love to see it in the Spider-Man movie. Punisher with War Machine armor is a match made in heaven. That would be absolutely incredible. But maybe not. Maybe Frank's just gonna have the tanks and different weapons like that. Maybe he does have access to help from the hand ninjas, not really sure. But either way, I think more of the puzzle pieces when it comes to Frank Castle and the Punisher and his connection to Spider-Man and what's going on in this movie, I think a lot of that stuff's gonna come into play when we see Daredevil Born Again Season 2, when we see the special, and maybe they'll do an end cap scene for both of those things that are gonna set up what's going on in Spider-Man Brand New Day. So what's up with the Hulk? Let's talk about the Hulk. Obviously, the Hulk is going to turn savage again. We've been hearing rumors about this for years. Marvel wanted to do this. They've also kind of been building Hulk as this figure in the background of a lot of these different shows and movies, whether it's Captain America Brave New World, whether it's She-Hulk, or whether it's even Thunderbolts. Banner as Hulk is kind of interplaying in between all of that stuff. Gamma, Hulk, Super Soldier Serum. But it also doesn't appear to match up perfectly with going into a Spider-Man movie. I'm not really sure how going into a Spider-Man movie is going to see Hulk go nuts and absolutely lose his mind. Now, of course, a lot of folks thought maybe Mr. Negative would be the one to turn Hulk savage, but again, it just doesn't seem like that's going to happen. Interestingly, the organization known as AIM, Advanced Idea Mechanics, was the organization trying to get their hands on Hulk's blood in the She-Hulk show. And obviously, Hulk's blood did get out there and was used to turn the president into Red Hulk by the leader, and the leader is connected to Advanced Idea Mechanics as well in the comics. So maybe it's just as simple as Advanced Idea Mechanics, perhaps the leader himself, perhaps Viper and the Silver Samurai working for AIM. Maybe that is the organization that has flipped Hulk and made him into a Savage Hulk once again. But that perfectly takes us into the crazy shit, man. Let's talk about the wild ass ideas, the things that are being teased and hinted at by the scoopers, the stuff that seems too good to be true. And number one, let's talk about Norman freaking Osborn. Now, this one's crazy. I'm way out on a limb here. This is major speculation, but Daniel RPK and many other scoopers keep talking about the MCU version of Norman Osborn. And we know that this is something Kevin Feige's wanted to do for a long time, man. He loves the Norman Osborn character. He badly wants Norman Osborn in the 616 of the MCU. And so it's possible that there is a 616 version of Norman Osborn. And it's possible he is the secret mastermind behind all of the stuff that is happening in Brand New Day. Perhaps Norman Osborn, after the reign of Wilson Fisk in New York City, is now running for mayor, or maybe Norman Osborn is just trying to take control of all these different organizations in a sort of shadow figure type way to have stability and to civilize the MCU. Not a lot of evidence for this other than the fact that it does seem that Marvel wants Norman Osborn, and they're likely casting the MCU version of Norman Osborn right now. And then there's also a part of me that thinks about all these stories we've heard about Sony recently. Seems like they're going away from Knoll and Venom and maybe not making spin-offs anymore. Are they just going to allow their stuff to exist in the MCU post Secret Wars now? If that's the case, I could totally see them relinquishing the Norman character to Kevin Feige. Now, another possibility that's going around is Venom, and this would be so fucking wild, dude. I struggle to figure out how this would fit in with all these other things that are going on. Technically, though, Venom could connect more to the multiverse, right? Being of the hive mind across universes, knowing of billions of years of history, knowing all sorts of stuff as the Venom symbiote. The Venom symbiote coming in could just simply want to be attached to the strongest host on the planet, and that would probably be the Hulk. So maybe it's just as simple as that little piece of Venom that was left in 616 goes to find Hulk, actually turns Hulk into a savage again, and then a Venomized Hulk becomes the absolute big bad craziest threat we've ever seen in Marvel, and that's what's going to cause Punisher and Spider-Man to maybe work together to try to stop the Venomized Hulk. This would be crazy. I actually think there's a good chance of this happening, man, and we'll see evidence of it as time goes along. Like, this is too big of a secret. It is not going to stay hidden for long if this is really what they're doing. And then the final mind-blowing thing that almost nobody's talking about is the fact that Doctor Doom himself could be involved in this movie. And the only reason I think that is because we've heard some rumors that Spider-Man might not be heavily involved in the actual Doomsday film, and yet we also know that the relationship between Spider-Man and Tony Stark is going to heavily play in to the conflict between the Doctor Doom character and Tony Tom Holland's Spider-Man. Like, Marvel is obsessed with making Tom Holland have to see the face of his mentor on a villain that's trying to maybe kill him or destroy the multiverse. So you can imagine that they'd want to maybe set that up with the movie that comes out right before Doomsday by having Dr. Doom be the secret revealed villain. On top of that, documentation that was officially filed years ago for Spider-Man Brand New Day actually mentions RDJ Dr. Doom. Like, they weren't even hiding it. They were putting it right out there that RDJ's Dr. Doom will be in Spider-Man Brand New Day. And insiders like My Time to Shine Hello reported a long time ago that Robert Downey Jr.'s Dr. Doom will be in Spider-Man. Jeff Snyder reported this a long time ago. And technically we don't know because a lot has changed and maybe they removed Dr. Doom from the plans for this movie. It seems like they've changed this film a lot. But at the same time, I just can't shake this feeling that this would be the perfect way to really start to set up the hype for Doomsday, and it would potentially be a great way to have that exact conflict between the Tom Holland Spider-Man character and the RDJ Iron Man looking Victor Von Doom. So there you have it, guys. The basic stuff, the intermediate, more advanced stuff, and then the absolute crazy fanboy dreams. That's everything we know as far as insider scoops, leaks, and rumors with regards to Spider-Man Brand New Day. If anything else happens, I will update you about it in different videos or on stream. Let me know your thoughts about all this crazy shit. Do you think MCU is maybe finally back with Spider-Man? What do you think of that? Let me know in the comment section below. And as I always say, I hope you are having an awesome and a nerdy day, and I'll see you in the next video.